Welcome to Creator Toolbox, a show brought to you by the ServiceNow Developer Program, where we demo new features for every developer's toolbox. I'm Christy, Senior Developer Advocate, and today we're talking about one of the most anticipated features released in Yokohama, AI Agent Studio. But before we start, let's do some quick intros.
Hi, everyone. My name is Victor Chen. I'm an outbound product manager for Now Assist, and today's topic, AI agents.
And hi, I'm Travis Tolson, Senior Developer Advocate at ServiceNow.
Excellent. Well, all right. Well, without further ado, Victor, tell us all about AI agents and AI Agent Studio.
So, yes, thank you, Christy. Thank you for having me. And it's a wonderful time to talk about AI agents. It is released as of today being March 12th, as part of our Yokohama general availability. And it really is meant to be a transformation from ServiceNow being a system of automated workflows, perhaps something manual that you or others have created, to more autonomous, intelligent workflows, right? Powered by Now Assist, powered by large language models and generative AI, right? A lot uh, of folks out there are building AI agent platforms, but we believe that ServiceNow AI agent platforms is equally valuable in the ecosystem. So let's talk about it. So I may be mentioning some future forward-looking statements, so just in case, safe harbor slide. And just some grounding of terminology here. So I talked about ServiceNow developing or creating an agentic system, and that's a piece of type of software or AI that perceives its environment like a ServiceNow instance, or perhaps like your other enterprise systems, and makes decisions based on that perception, takes action to achieve specific goals with minimal human intervention. It can learn, adapt, and operate independently to solve problems and perform tasks. That is the promise of AI agents in the Now platform, right? We have the ability to create AI agents in that agentic system, in that ServiceNow agentic system, that comprises a set of LLM instructions along with tools to perform specific tasks. We also have use cases that comprises of a set of instructions, but also contains the one or more agents that are needed to execute that objective or that problem statement. So like what I mentioned, what we have today, Now Assist has been a huge benefit and lift to our ServiceNow customers, developers, ecosystem, et cetera. And the wave one of Now Assist has been relatively simple actions taking response to human prompting, right? And we've embedded these Now Assist skills or workflows in the ServiceNow instance. They live in our flows or your actions, virtual agent topics, etc. Right? So a human asks a question or clicks a button like the summarize button, and Now Assist provides an answer or provides some output. Right? Well, with AI agents, we can now dynamically direct multi-step processes and tool usage to create content and drive resolution. So we have an AI agents orchestrator, which uses an LLM with chain of thought to reason and plan out steps, along with ServiceNow provided tools and data to then drive agents to analyze complex situations, generate plans of actions, and execute actions with, again, user context, ServiceNow context, data, and tools. So that is again the vision of AI agents, which unlocks productivity at scale. AI agents are there 24/7 to empower your human agents, empower employees to drive results with a practically limitless skilled digital workforce. It goes beyond chatbots. Yes, we have a chatbot, but our virtual agent is ServiceNow, but AI agents is the next evolution of it, right? It has an orchestrator. It can run actions, multi-step process, reason which actions are required or perhaps not required, right? And all this can be built by your developers or by our customers, what have you, our partners, etc. Our platform is AI Control Tower. You may have heard Bill, our CEO, talk about this, but you have the ability with our platform to govern and monitor native or third-party agents on a single enterprise platform. And of course, it's built in, not bolted on. So it is one trusted, scalable platform. We didn't add on as an acquisition or whatever. We built these AI agents ourselves. So not only can you build your own AI agents, we also provide pre-built domain specialized AI agents for you to use, to gain inspiration from, etc. And these are just some of the example AI agents that we've shipped out of the box for, again, our March release across all our workflows, whether it's IT, CRM, HR, etc. And of course, as we move along in the future, more will come on the way in our quarterly release cadence, right? And perhaps even our Zurich release in September. Last slide, I promised, before we get into the good stuff. So how do you get started? So first, you do need a Now Assist license. So for those wondering, that's the Pro Plus, Enterprise Plus entitlement. You will need Yokohama Patch 1, which is general availability, or Xanadu Patch 7. So if you're on Xanadu, you can use AI agents. You just need to be at a higher patch level. We do have an AI agent store app. So make sure that store app is installed. It is bundled with the Now Assist for IT or for HR store app. So all these apps, store apps should co-install together, but just make sure that the AI agents one is there in particular. That's the one you want. And then the AI agents store app has other dependency apps as well. It's all listed in the release notes. So just make sure those are either installed or updated as well to make sure you have the best user experience, the most stable user experience. AI agents does use AI search, so make sure that's enabled, which should be frankly enabled in all your instances. It's default enabled out of box. And then make sure that the Now Assist panel is turned on. Okay, so you turn that on in the Now Assist admin console. I can show that a bit later. That is the main interface today where our AI agents reside to be used for fulfillers or human agents, service desk agents, etc. We do plan to, moving forward, plan to expose AI agents to the end user, to end employees on, say, the virtual agent. That'll be in a future release coming soon. So how do you turn on AI agents? So first you need a role, and the role is right there, sn_aia.admin. That allows you to build and access AI agents in the studio. And then you navigate to that there, Now Assist AI Agents overview, and I'll do that there in a second. Some additional considerations, right? So as with any generative AI tool since, ChatGPT, right? Your output and your results are only as good as your context and your data. So AI agents do use the context of your ticket, and all this we'll see in person soon. I'm just laying the groundwork here. It does use the context of your ticket and your searchable content to generate plans and actions and resolutions. So you want to make sure that your ticket data and your knowledge-based data have the latest accurate information for the best results. So good, catalog, service catalog, for example, good foundational knowledge base, good ticket data with good practices around work notes, commenting, description. All that is used by AI agents. So this is the latest Yokohama Patch 1 release. So like I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, where I just go to AI agent, there it is, AI agent studio, go to overview, and this is the AI agent studio. And you can see here we have a lot of tools for you. We have ready-made use cases and AI agents for you to look at. We have some guidance here on the right-hand side if you want. We have analytics. We can look at that later. But yeah, so like I mentioned, we have use cases and we have agents. So use cases are they're like the problem statement, the what, and they are the collection of AI agents that are targeted for a specific problem that you have or a specific objective that you have. So you can see the AI agents, they're kind of more overarching in their name and description, right? If I were to click into you can see that I can give the the use case, a name, a description, and a set of instructions. And instructions itself will also be a bit vague. This is sort of the instructions or the prompt you want to give to that use case. For those of you who have built agents before, whether that's in LangChain or whether that's using some other agent building platform, this is Anthropic, right? This is probably a familiar concept for you. How writing these natural language instructions or prompts for your use case for your agents, right? And then you can see here, this use case only has one agent connected to it. I can connect more agents if I want to, like multiple agents. And these agents, if I click into this, also has a name and description, but also it has the agent role. And again, if you've built agents before, this is a familiar principle here, as well as instructions you want that agent to do. And these agent instructions are probably going to be more detailed. It's like, hey, I want to provide the details of the problem. I want to use a tool to fetch historical incident data. I want you to do this. Usually there are some steps involved. You don't have to, but if you have some instructions or some steps to give that agent as part of the broader solving of the problem, this is where you put it. Okay. So let's see. I'll exit here. Let me see if there's a good example of an AI agent here. Let me view all. I think I have more. Yeah, I have many more. So these are all the AI agents. And then I'll show you, I'm going to run you one. So I'm going to click into this use case, which is basically an expense reporting use case or agent, right? All it does is just, gathers user details to get the expense reports in order to answer questions about them. This is a rather simplistic AI agent. I don't mean to use this as an exemplary AI agent, but just again, as a matter of showing you the concepts here. And again, this use case has an AI agent. The use case instructions rather over, just overview, but the AI agent instructions is more detailed in terms of description, and the role and the instructions are all very specific, right? I get questions like, hey, how do I know what's a good prompt or whatnot? A lot of it is experimentation, but if you look online, there are many guides out there. I think there's a website called promptengineeringguide.com or something that tells you how to write good prompts. I believe there's a paper out there on how to write good prompts, a research paper out there. So I'd invite you to look at those. I mentioned those pre-built out-of-box agents as well. All those have good, again, inspirations for role, how to write a role or how to write instructions. Many of this, admittedly, is more for the user's benefit. So, like, no, you do not need to put words in caps, for example. That's just for readability. You don't need to say please or add superfluous language to the agents. Agents are rather, you can be rather straightforward with your agent, but still detailed. Okay. So that's how you create an agent and in agent instructions. If you like, you can also use Now Assist to help you create an agent, right? To help you fill out all this data, all this information. If I want to say, create an AI agent that gives me I'd click generate. I'm not going to do it here because this one's already created. If I click generate, it'll actually write out instructions and roles for me, and I can then go in and at least have a starting point, right? So then that's how you build the agents. Now let's go into tools. So I'm going to click just save and continue here. And I'll provide more examples. This is just one example of an AI agent. After I show you this, I'm going to switch into another instance with more tools, examples, more agent examples, etc. So again, examples, testing, running them live. Like this is what I want to show you also that, inspire you and to show you how all this is built. So this is a tools page. Again, it's low code. Some of you, again, may be familiar with building AI agents with a lot of code, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to provide you with a studio to help maintain, build, test, deploy, govern, all that in an accessible studio for you. So you can add tools here. You can add flow actions. You can add subflows. You can add conversational topics. These are virtual agent topics. Now assist skills, whether they are out-of-box skills or whether they are your custom skills built by Now Assist Skill Kit, right? Record operation, that's basically CRUD, create retrieve, update, and delete. Script block, for those of you hardcore scripters, I'm not one, but some of you are. Search retrieval, which is basically RAG. Subflow, and web search, which allows you to search external like Google or Bing, right, to return information. So all of these are tools that can be used by the AI agents to retrieve information, make changes, update information, all those tools which are described or instructed by your AI agent instructions. So as an example, part of this, expense report agent tool, I can get user expense reports. I do provide a description of what this flow action should do, right? And then I select the flow action. I can select whether I run it autonomously or supervise. Supervise meaning, yes, maybe you want a human in the loop to just make sure, yes, please proceed, or yes, this is all right. Yeah. And then you can display outputs as well.
Can I ask a question really quickly?
Yeah.
If you open that back up and that box you have at the top, that I'm assuming that's kind of the description. How
Mhm.
specific do you need to be in there for the output? Like, does it have to be verbatim, like what the field name is? Like, how specific do you need to be?
Um, I it depends. I don't want to say that like, okay, you need to know the exact table name and field name, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whatever expense report table this is getting from, these are not the exact field names. I'd be surprised if they are, right? It's all
Mhm.
meant to be natural language. It's all meant to be low code. That being said, in my experience, right, the more information you can give it, the more instruction you can give it, the more consistent it will be. You don't leave things open to guesswork by the large language model, by the orchestrator, right?
Excellent. Okay.
Sometimes sometimes you want to give it like more range, like, hey, I want this AI agent to resolve an incident. I don't care what you do to do it, right? Just get it done. But sometimes it's like, hey, I want to make sure that you provide the right information, that you update it the right way, etc. So it really depends on your scope of what you want it to do.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah. No, it's a good question, right? There is a balance, and a lot of it is experimentation. There's no exact science to this, so there's some art as well.
Sure.
Uh, so yeah, so that's an example of just a tool that this agent will use, and I define availability. Of course, it's active, and I don't know why it says panel is turned off. I'm pretty sure it's turned on because I see it right here. But you want to turn it, deploy the AI agent here, and then make sure that the Now Assist panel is turned on so that it is visible in your Now Assist panel. So with that, let's go ahead and test it. And then after we test it, we'll run it again live in the Now Assist panel just to show you what it looks like in there. So here's our testing tab. Sorry, before I do that, let me show you one more configuration item, so to speak. And that's Now Assist Guardian, right? We provide you with two guardrails for AI agents. One is offensiveness filter, right? The other is prompt injection, and this kind of leads you to the Now Assist admin's console to configure that, turn that on. I do recommend you turn that on, but some customers are like, no, we have our own. We're confident that there's no offensive material in our ServiceNow instance, for whatnot, so we're okay with that turned off. It's completely customer choice.
Brave. That's very brave to think that.
Yeah, I know, right? But hey, it's really up to them. So let me show you one more thing in turn. I promised I'd show you the admin console to turn on the panels. Let me just show you that before I do the testing there. So let me duplicate here and go to the Now Assist console. Here we go. Admin overview. I think it's under experiences. Yeah, panel. It's turned on already, right? So yeah, if you go to the Now Assist admin console, you go to experiences. If you don't have panel turned on already, this button would say turn on. You click that and you're good, to go. That's all you need to do, okay, to turn on the panel. So with that, let's go to test. So this is the testing page. You can test the AI agent individually, or you can test your use case, which is what I'm going to do. And when I select that, it'll show you all the use cases to test. There's expense reporting, and I can say something like, get my expense reports. And on the left-hand side there, you'll see the test output. And on the center, you'll see visually the AI agent or AI agents, plural, that this orchestrator is processing. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the chain of thought. And this is, goes to, how flexible and how transparent we want our AI to be. We ServiceNow want our AI to be. So you can download these logs. You kind of see all the thought process, the tools it's using, what it's doing, what it's thinking, all that stuff. And you can see, okay, this is the output. I'm gonna give it to the end user, right? So I can see, oh, these are all the expense reports I have. So now let's go back to the AI Agent Studio, and I'll just go back to home. I'll just show you what the analysis panel looks like, what the AI agent looks like in the analysis panel. So here's analysis panel, right? I'll pin it so that I get some more space here, and I can say the same thing. Get my expense reports. And one thing to note is that the AI agent the performance can vary, right? You can see here it's not like super snappy quick. We are making improvements to performance, number one. Number two, AI agents is not meant to be, in some cases, like here, the AI agent is not necessarily meant to be, babysat by the user, whether it's the service desk agent or by the human user. We do provide notifications, and this panel can kind of go off to the side while the user or the agent goes do other things, right? So that being said, for something that's more for experiences or use cases that are more interactive with the user, just be aware of that performance can vary, but we are making improvements to it. I will also say, as a matter of best practice, it's good practice not to overload the use case with too many AI agents or too many tools, right? Things will start to slow down just as a matter of scaling. Things will start to slow down if you start to add more than 10 to 15 tools or 10 to 15 agents to a use case. So just keep that in mind. You'll see that a lot of our pre-built use cases and AI agents have about, I don't know, 4 to 5 to 7 tools, or maybe 3 to 4 agents per use case, right? So definitely, in terms of best practice, make sure that when you define agents and use cases, that they are thorough yet succinct. Another good best practice is, you obviously don't want AI agents to overlap with each other, like them doing the same thing or them using the same tool for the same reason, right? So MECE, right? Mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. You use that principle when designing your use cases, when designing your AI agents. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, so here you can see the same result that we got in the test case. It lists out all our expense reports, and I can interact with the agents, with the AI agent even further. I can say something like, what are my unsettled expense reports? And one of the cool things about AI agents and the orchestrator is that you're not entirely constrained by just the tools and just the instructions. It is, after all, a large language model, right? So in some cases, like here, like I didn't create a tool called, get settled expense reports, but it knows, right? It can intuit and generate information from the ServiceNow data and context to provide a list of my unsettled reports, and I can do like, what are the sum? Not grammatically correct there. What is the sum total? Maybe what is the sum total? What is the sum total of my unsettled expense reports? Right. So so definitely don't feel constrained, like, oh, I have to think of every single tool and agent in the universe, right? Think of the ones you absolutely want, the ones that you want to control the most experience in terms of building out that tool, etc. But you can see here, it can do some simple math, right? Without me having to add a tool, for example. Nope, I'm good, thanks. And that's just one example of what AI agents can do.
Very cool.
So let me show, if we have time, I'd love to show one more example here.
Yeah.
So let me go to another instance.
Now, while you're doing that, I do have another question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned not having to program all the different, you know, possibilities of questions that people might answer. But is there a way to kind of see how people are interacting with these agents? So if you see, certain situations that aren't being handled, so that you can go back and look at them and then figure out, okay, this is how I need to build on to my agent. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Let me go back
Yeah.
to my other instance here, and let me go back to the analytics page that I pointed out but didn't click into. So yes, we do have a usage dashboard. I can turn this off now, or I can close the analysis panel here. Let me go into View Analytics. And here you can see the different, like, all the AI agents used, the use cases used, the tool types used, et cetera, so on and so forth, of activities, et cetera, right? So that's one way. Excuse me. And then, yes, we do have we do have log tables, right? Like execution plan table, execution task table, cisgenerative AI, metadata tables, right? Some of these, the two first ones I mentioned are particular to AI agent. The cisgenerative AI metadata table is available to, for all of Now Assist, right? So those are just some of the example tables in here, dashboard, that you can use to kind of track, like, hey, what's being used, what's being processed, etc.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
And so is the primary way for interacting with these agents through the Now Assist panel, or can these agents be triggered by other mechanism, by script, by business rule?
Yeah, very good question. So I'll say what's officially supported, and then I'll say what our developers are all very creative and very skilled. So officially, there are the two ways to trigger AI agents is through the panel, like you just saw there. In future releases, it'll be visible in the virtual agent as well. And the other way is through database changes, right? So if something changes in ServiceNow, or some event occurs in ServiceNow, AI agents can run off that too. You mentioned specifically business rules. That's not one of the official ways that you can trigger an AI agent, but I've seen it happen before. If our developers or if our customers have a use case for that, we can't stop them. This is an extensible platform. This is, we are merely a vessel for your imagination. So, I'll answer that way.
Would
That's
you say
awesome.
that
Thank
would
you.
be oh, sorry. Would you say that's not best practice, though, to put that in a business rule? There'd be some other way to trigger that,
Uh,
like fire an event that would maybe trigger it or something like that?
I think every customer's risk profile is different. The risk with launching it with a business rule is that it's very high code. AI agents, you know, we don't know what the business rule does or is, and if something wrong happens, it is a deeper hole to dig in, right, in troubleshooting. So those are some of the things I've off the top of my head as to why I wouldn't do it. But again, like, everyone's got their own appetite for risk and for customization, etc.
Fair enough. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Got it.
But just because I said it doesn't mean you have to listen to me. Yeah. So yeah, no, thanks for that. Thanks for that question, and thank you for reminding me about showing the analytics dashboard. Okay, so now let me go to another instance here. This is an older UI, so it looks a little bit different than what you saw. But what I wanted to show you here is this agent, and this is the next best action agent. And what this agent does is, essentially, all it does is it generates a plan for me. Like, it just tells me, okay, based on this issue you have, it tells me, perhaps the service desk agent, hey, based on this issue you have, this is how you might want to resolve it, right? So it has the roles and instructions. But I just wanted to show you more examples of tools it has, right? So RAG is a tool you have, and kind of see here, not only I tell it what to search or how to search it, it asks for the search profile. So for those of you who used AI search, you're familiar with the concept of search profiles. the search source, the fields returned, results limit, whether you want to use semantic, keyword, or hybrid. I recommend hybrid, and then the semantic index field. So these are just some of the tools you can, another type of tool you can use, and you'll see in when we do the test, like how the results are used. Script block, right? So you can provide script inputs, and we do run this out of box, script, but using the input as using the incident number as an input. Skill, so record summarization. This is a skill I pulled from the skill kit. I'm not sure. I don't recall if it's out of box or custom, but it is a skill. I give it a description, etc. So just more examples of tools you can use. And then test, if I go to test, again, different UI, but very similar here. I can say something like, and I have this incident number copy and pasted. So give me a second here. Let me just copy and paste from here because I cannot remember incident numbers. If I want to resolve this incident number, this is something I would normally type into the Now Assist panel or potentially even the virtual agent chatbot, right? You can see on the left-hand side, middle, and right-hand side. It starts thinking, I start using the tools. It's like, okay, I want to get the details of the incident. I want to see if there's similar incidents. Maybe that provides me some, hints, the AI agent, some hints on how to resolve this incident, right? Because that's what the human user has asked me, the AI agent, to do. You can see here summarization, and then I'll show you how RAG is run here. All these tools run in the background. And then here's the search tool here, the query. We've passed the short description of the incident into the query. So it's essentially as if you're searching for that short description. It may or may not have found, I believe it looks like it found a KB article, which is great. And now it's going to use all this information, right? And it may even it'll look at all this information to provide you with a plan to say, hey, these are the steps you can use with citation on how to resolve this incident. You'll see here, there's this communicator agent. This is a behind the scenes agent that we give to you, sort of like the outputter or the messenger agent. So you'll see here the orchestrator, technically also an AI agent, but you didn't build that. You don't have to worry about that. You have the next best agent, which is something that you may build or we provided to you. And you have the communicator agent. And I can say, yes, sounds good. And again, we're done, right? So again, more behind the scenes, showing you like how AI agents work, some of the different tools it can use, how it works in the background, et cetera. And now it's going to just say, thank you. The, human on the human has told you you're good, or yes, sounds good, you're done, right? So that's just another example of how AI agents use tools and how they think and how they operate, and some of the sort of different outputs it can give to users, right? Any questions? Like that's AI agent in a nutshell. I felt like I've showed you all a lot, but also at the same time, just scratch the surface of what AI agents can do, right? You think about if I use flow action and subflows as tools, I could perform operations. I could post work notes. I could get details from external systems, or I can edit things within ServiceNow. You think I showed you web search as a tool. So yes, this used ServiceNow search to generate a plan of action, but I could use Google as a data source to generate a plan of action to resolve incidents. So really, there's a lot of opportunity, right, in terms of building and deploying AI agents in your ServiceNow system.
So you mentioned working with external systems, and obviously one of the superpowers of ServiceNow is how connected it is to all of the different data sources you have. So these AI agents, can they leverage those REST connections, leverage those different integrations that ServiceNow has in order to take action?
Yes, and that's a great point that bears repeating. This is not, AI agents is not a replacement of Workflow Studio. It is not a replacement of virtual agent. It is not it's not a replacement of any of those things. If you notice by now, everything that has come before is now usable and accessible to AI agents. All your investments that you've built in terms of your flow actions, your virtual agent topics, your service catalog items, the script blocks you may have saved either in ServiceNow or in a notepad somewhere, all of them are usable by AI agents, right? It is an additive experience. To your point, you have if customers or developers have spokes that point to external data systems like Workday, Salesforce, Concur, what have you, and those spokes update data, they get data. All that is usable by AI agents.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool to see all this kind of in action 'cause we've heard about it for a while, right? So it's
Yeah.
good to actually see it working and like in use. It's very, very cool.
So with that, what would you say are kind of the guidelines on use cases where obviously there's some overlap here with some other tools? There's a lot of workflowing going on. You've got an interactive chat agent of sorts and Now Assist. So there's some obvious overlap with some of the other products. What would be the kind of guidelines on use case for when AI Agent Studio would be the appropriate tool?
Yeah, like the way I think about it, so first off, definitely when you install AA Agent Studio, take a look at all our ready-made use cases in AA agents. There may be white space in there that we haven't thought of or we haven't built yet. That's one opportunity. And as well as providing an inspiration of like-minded or similar use cases in AI agents. The other thing, the way I think about it, and for those of you who think about like how do I differentiate workflows from AI agents, right? And if for those of you who have read Anthropic, they had a blog about AI agents, and one of the things they talked about was, hey, what differentiates workflows from AI agents? What I hope you saw was that AI agents is more than just a bunch of workflows strung together or collected together, right? It's using them as tools or as signposts to as part of a broader problem statement, as part of a broader thing to solve or job to be done, right? So, you may have AI agents that have a lot of tools and use cases, a lot of AI agents, but you don't want to be the one scripting or designing. Like, okay, it has to be step 1, 2, and 3. You have to follow these steps in this order, right? If you have something like that, sure, that sounds like a workflow. But if you have a use case like, look, I don't want to, or I don't know the exact steps or the orders or the things I want to be done. All I know is I have I want to use these tools, for example. That sounds like a job for AI agents. So again, the good example was next best action agent I just showed you, or I believe steps for issue resolution. I'm looking at some of the AI agents, the agents available here, right? Like in order to resolve an incident, who knows what you need to do, right? And in what order. You may use every tool, you may skip a tool or two, or use again, or different in different ways. Those types of open-ended workflows. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to do it. I want someone else, I want an agent to do this for me. Well, I go do something else, right? All that. There's opportunity for AI agents and there's more autonomous AI agents to do this sort of work at scale without human agents babysitting, without human agents having to do the work themselves, right? In a future world, right? Can a cert if can an AI agent replace or augment a service desk agent or a team of service desk agents? If the answer to that is yes, then you want to think about, okay, what are the use cases and the workflows that would fall in that kind of parameter, that kind of mindset.
So any other questions, Travis? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off if you had other questions.
No, I think that covers my questions.
Okay,
I'm feeling
excellent.
pretty good.
Yeah, me too. This is awesome, Victor. Did you have any other demo to show, or do you want to talk about like future state, like what we might see coming for like Zurich and Australia?
Let me think. So we talked about, AI agents appearing on virtual agent, that's coming as well.
Mhm.
Certainly, we're going to be improving like the studio, the analytics dashboard, probably provide you more tools. And then, excuse me, perhaps more pertinently or more tactically, our ServiceNow, our uh, workflow teams will ship more out-of-box use cases and agents for you to use and to get inspiration from. So you have that to look forward to. I would be remiss if I shameless plug, not say register for knowledge, right? Coming in May, and knowledge you're going to get the whole you know uh, presentation, roadmap, demos of AI agents. You'll be able to, play around with it live. We'll have demo pods for AI agents. Um, our product manager is going to do an hour-long roadmap session. You'll hear from some of our early adopters and our partners who've used AI agents, what they've done with agents. We will have labs, right, as part of CreatorCon, as well as part of the domain knowledge lab. Don't be surprised if you find me in one of those labs doing the presentation or being a lab guru. The future is very bright with AI agents. Whether you've heard Bill say that or whether you can just see it from the energy and from what we just showed today. And I think this will be, again, that next evolution in terms of autonomous workflows built in and on the Now platform.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it all at Knowledge. And I know customers are too, and people watching are very excited to see
Yeah,
it
for
all
those
come
watching,
together at Knowledge.
I hope to see you all there.
Yeah. Yep. I will definitely be there for sure. You can find us probably in the CreatorCon space somewhere, but we'll be there. I hope that I can take in some of the labs too that you guys are going to do. So I would love to be able to participate in those too.
I'm sure you two have like some, all access pass. You just walk through security and just go, jump into labs, and definitely
I
feel free.
mean, you would be surprised. It's a little harder than that. I wish it were that easy. Definitely wish it were that
I know
easy.
Earl can just by his face alone, right? Like never mind a badge.
They know me here. I see him down there popping up. So you talked about initially about how you get started. So how you enable it, what version you need to be on. Are
Mhm.
there any resources out there available right now for people that want to get their hands on it, or their company has purchased it and they want to start learning? Are there trainings or anything out there available currently, or is that coming?
It is coming very soon. So what's available today is our documentation, which I know can be thorough, let's just say, but it's all there, right? Like nothing is hidden. It's honestly all there. We take a look at our ServiceNow community forums. I have to post some articles soon. I have them written up. I literally just have to click publish there, and we'll have resources there. Now Create is another resource. Now Learning, we will have a course on AI agents coming soon, if not very soon. And then as part of our community, we will have an AI Academy also on AI agents. Again, a shameless plug. AI Academy is one of those events, live on ServiceNow events that my team and I do. Certainly, there will be one on AI agents, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Victor. That was amazing to see all about AI agents and AI Agent Studio. We have so many more episodes that are coming to Creator Toolbox or that are already out. So be sure that you check our channel, like, subscribe so you don't miss those notifications. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.